This day I will tell you a fairy tale story about a Cinderella. I hope you can enjoy it and you can learn some of a moral in this story. Let's start the story. Once upon a time, Cinderella shared a home, with her stepmother and two stepsisters. Cinderella had to work all day, so that the others might rest. She had to get up every morning, while it was still dark, and cold to start the fire. She was the one who prepared the food. She was the one who kept the fire burning. The poor girl couldn't keep clean, because of all the ashes, and cinders from the fire. What a shambles! Her two stepsisters exclaimed. That is why she was dubbed Cinderella. Big news arrived in town one day. The king and queen were going to have a fantastic time. It was time for the prince to marry. Every single young lady in the land were invited to come. They were wild with joy. They would wear their most beautiful gown, and fix their hair extra nice. Maybe the prince would like them. At Cinderella's house, she now had extra work to do. She had to make two brand new gowns for her stepsisters. Faster! Shouted one stepsister. You call that a dress? Screamed the other. Oh, dear, said Cinderella. When can I? The stepmother marched into the room. When can you what? Well, said the girl, when will I have time to make my own dress for the ball? You? Yelled the stepmother. Who said you were going to the ball? What a laugh, said one stepsister. Such a mess. They pointed at Cinderella. All of them laughed. When they look at me, maybe they see a mess, Cinderella thought to herself. But I'm not like that. And if I could, I'd attend the ball. The stepmother and stepsisters were soon ready to depart, for the big party. Their magnificent carriage arrived at the door. The stepmother and stepsisters entered. And then they were gone. Goodbye! Called Cinderella. Have a good time. But her stepmother and stepsisters did not turn around to see her. Ah, me, said Cinderella sadly. The carriage rode down the street. She said aloud, I wish I could go to the ball, too. Then poof! All of a sudden, in front of her was a fairy. You called? Said the fairy. Did I? Said Cinderella. Who are you? Why, your fairy godmother, of course. I know your wish. And I have come to grant it. But, said Cinderella, my wish is impossible. Excuse me, said the fairy godmother in a huff. Did I not just show up out of thin air? Yes, you did, said Cinderella. Then let me be the one to say what is and isn't possible. Well, I guess you know I'd like to go to the ball as well. She lowered her gaze to her filthy garments. But have a look at me. You do appear to be a bit of a shambles, kid, the fairy godmother observed. Even if I had anything good to wear, the girl explained, I wouldn't be able to get there. Dear me, everything is possible, the fairy murmured. She then tapped Cinderella on the head with her wand. At once, Cinderella was all clean. She was dressed in a beautiful blue gown. Her hair was set up high on her head inside a golden band. This is wonderful, said Cinderella. Who said I was done? Said the fairy godmother. She tapped her wand again. At once, a beautiful carriage came to be, with a driver and 4 white horses. Am I dreaming? Said Cinderella, looking around her. It is as real can be, said the fairy godmother. But there is one thing you must know. What is that? All of this lasts only to midnight. Tonight, at the stroke of midnight, it will all be over. Everything will go back to how it was before. Then I must be sure to leave the ball before midnight, said Cinderella. Nice thought, replied the fairy godmother. She took a step back. I've finished my work. And then the fairy godmother vanished. Cinderella took a look around her. Did that actually happen? But there she was, dressed to the nines, and sporting a golden band in her hair. And there were her driver and 4 horses waiting for her. Coming? Called the driver. She stepped into the carriage. And they were off. Over at the ball, the prince did not know what to think. Why do you have that sad look on your face? The queen said to her son. Look around you, you could not ask for finer maidens than these. I know, mother, said the prince. Yet he knew something was wrong. He had met many of the young women. Yet after he said hello, one by one, he could find nothing more to say. Look! Someone pointed to the front door. Who is that? All heads turned. Who was that lovely maiden stepping down the stairs? She held her head tall, and looked as if she belonged. But no one knew her. There is something about Cinderella, said the prince to himself. She was dressed in a beautiful blue gown, and he walked over to Cinderella on her head inside a golden band. Said the prince. This is wonderful, said Cinderella. I am pleased to meet you now. Who said Cinderella with a bow? Said the fairy godmother. I feel as if I know you. She tapped her wand again. But of course, a beautiful carriage came to be, with a driver and 4 white horses. Said Cinderella. If you wish them to be true, said Cinderella, the prince's heart skipped around her. He and Cinderella performed as real can be. They danced again once the song ended. But there is one thing you must know. And again. What is that? The other maidens at the ball soon became envious. Tonight, why is he always dancing with her? It will all be over. Everything will go back to how it was before. But the prince could only see Cinderella. Then I must be sure to leave the ball before midnight, and dance some more. They danced for so long, replied the fairy godmother. Didn't notice the time. She took a step back. Dong, I finished my work. And then the fairy godmother vanished. Dong? Cinderella took a look around her. Did that actually happen? Oh, but there she was, dressed to the nines, and sporting a golden band in her hair. Dong, and there were her driver and 4 horses waiting for her. Why does that matter? Coming, said the prince. Called the driver. Dong, she stepped into the carriage. And I must go, said Cinderella. Over at the ball, Dong, the prince did not know what to think. Clock. Why do you have that sad look on your face? Said the prince. The queen said to her son. Look around you. You could not ask for finer maidens than these. I must go, said Cinderella. Mother, she ran to the steps. Yet he knew something was wrong. Said the clock. He had met many of the young women, said the prince. Yet after he said the clock is too loud. One by one, he could find nothing more to say. The clock. Look, goodbye, someone pointed to the front door. Up the stairs she ran. All heads turned. Who is that lovely maiden stepping down the stairs? Stop. She held her head tall, said the prince, and looked as if she belonged. Oh, dear, but no one knew her. She said as one glass slipper fell off her foot on the stair. The door was flung open by Cinderella kept running up. Come in, she exclaimed, said the clock. Please see my 2 adorable girls. Please wait a moment, said the first stepsister attempted to wear the glass slipper. Rung the clock. She tried her hardest, but it just didn't work. Cinderella turned one last time. The second stepsister then attempted to fit her foot inside. She, too, the clock tried and tried with all her might. Midnight, but no such luck. The prince exclaimed, wait, are there no other young women in the house? Picking up her glass slipper. He glanced everywhere, said the stepmother, but couldn't find her blue outfit. Then I must go. This is all I have left from her. He replied. Maybe there is one more. His gaze fixed on the glass slipper. Stepping into the room, he noticed that it was created in a unique way. I thought you said there were no other young women here. There's another glass slipper somewhere. He remarked. None who matter. And when I find it, I'll find her as well. Come here. Then I'll ask her to marry me. Cinderella the prince traveled from hut to hut. The prince dropped down on one knee, and tried on the glass slipper. A young woman attempted to fit her foot into the glass slipper. Cinderella then grabbed something from her pocket. As a result, it had to be the other glass slipper. At last the prince came to Cinderella's house. You are the one. He is coming. What? Called one stepsister as she looked out the window. Not her. At the door, screamed the other stepsister. This cannot be. Quick, yelled the stepmother. Get ready. However, it was too late. Must be the one to fit. The prince recognized Cinderella as the one. No matter what, he stared her in the eyes. He was blind to the cinders in her hair, or the ash on her face. I found you, he exclaimed. And I have found you, Cinderella said. And so Cinderella and the prince were married, and they lived happily ever after. Thank you for listening my fairy tale story. I hope you like it. Please show your support by click like and subscribe to this channel. And when you want another story to read, please comment below. My name Kak Aiko, see you on the next story.